Resources. In this video, we will see class NCERT Class 8 Geography Chapter 1, and we have already covered NCERT Class 6 and Class 7, all the chapters and their exercises and their summaries and all the important points. And in the coming days, we are going to cover NCERT from Class 6 to Class 12 for Geography, History, Polity, and Economy. And these NCERTs are necessary for all the competitive exams, especially for civil services like UPSC and other state civil services exams. This chapter we will also cover exercises given at the end of the chapter, and we will see all the important points. So let's start the chapter. Chapter talks about resources. It says that utility or usability, what makes an object or substance a resource, and all resources have some value. So there are two important factors for resources. One is utility and another is value. Value means worth, and some resources have economic value, some do not have. For example, metal may have an economic value and a beautiful landscape may not. But if you compare both, both are important and they both satisfy human needs. And you might have seen that some resources can become economically valuable with the time. Suppose your grandmother's home remedies or any other theory or any other book don't have a commercial value, or any other rural stuff don't have a commercial value, but if they are being patented and sold by a medical firm tomorrow, they could become economically valuable. And the given definition of patent means the exclusive right over any idea or any invention or any other new thing. So they register with some agency and they get patent. And if you sell your patent to any commercial company, then you will get royalty, and that is why this patent could become economically valuable. See, there are two things. One is time and second is technology. These are the two important factors that can change substances into the resources, and both are related to the needs of the people. People themselves are the most important source because it is their ideas, their knowledge, their invention, and their discovery that led to creation of various type of resources. And technology means the application of latest knowledge and skill in doing or making things. And each discovery or invention leads to many other, like the discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking and then other processes, while the invention of wheel ultimately resulted in development of newer modes of transport like roads, airways, cars, other vehicles, and the technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy in fast-flowing water into an important resource. There are various types of resources, and resources are generally classified into three major types. First is natural resources, then human-made resources, then human resources. See, the resources which are directly nature and are used without any modification, they are known as natural resources, like the air we breathe, the water in our rivers and lakes, soils, minerals, all are natural resources, and many of these resources are free gift of nature and can be used directly. And only in some cases we need tools and technology to use a natural resource in the best possible. And natural resources are classified into various type of groups depending on their development, depending on their uses, depending on their origin, stock, and distribution. For example, on the basis of their development and use resources, for example, on the basis of their development and use or uses or usability, resources can be classified into two groups. First is actual resource and second is potential resource. Actual means whose quantity is known and these resources are being used in the present. For example, the rich deposits of coal in rural region of Germany and petroleum in Africa and West Asia, and the darker soil of Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra, which is also known as Regur soil, and which is very important for the cotton cultivation. These are our actual resources because their quantity is known and they are being used presently. Potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known, but and these are not being used at the present, but these resources could be used in the future. That is why they are uh, known as potential, and they are currently potential because the level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. For example, uranium found in Ladakh could be a potential resource, and high-speed winds were actually a potential resource some years ago, but today they are an actual resource. So the stage from potential to actual, it takes some time because it some technology, some research and development. Then only the potential resource could be converted into actual resource. And based on their origin, resources can be abiotic or biotic. Abiotic are and biotic are living. For example, soils, rocks, and minerals all are abiotic, and plants and animals are biotic. These natural resources can also be broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable. Renewable means those which get renewed or replenished very quickly, very easily, and these are unlimited and not affected by human activities. Example may be solar and wind energy, but in some cases, careless use of or overuse of certain renewable resources like water, soil, and forest can affect their stock. Stock means the amount of resources available for use. And if you see the water covers around 70% part and it seems unlimited renewable resource, but if you see actually the fresh amount of water is very very low and more than 97% water is present in the saline form, and that is why it could not be used for human consumption. Shortage and drying up of natural water resources is a very major problem in many parts of the world. And if you see non-renewable resource, these are the resources they have a very limited stock, and once their stock are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. That is why they are known as non-renewable resources because this this replenishment or renewable period is very high than the human lifespans, and such resources are known as non-renewable. And once they are exhausted, it takes around thousand or millions of years to get renewed or to form again. For example, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. And on the basis of their distribution, these resources are known as ubiquitous and or localized. See, the resources which are found everywhere, like earth, like air, and water, these are ubiquitous. But those are found only in certain places, like and are localized, like some metals, iron. These are localized. And if you see the distribution of the ubiquitous resource is air only. Parts of the globe we don't find water at all. And if you see the distribution of natural resources, they depend on number of physical factors like terrain, climate, and altitude. And because these factors differ from place to place, it is why the distribution of natural resources also differs, and that is why the distribution of resources is unequal. And then second number of resources, human-made resource. These are made by humans, and natural substance they become resource only when their original form has been changed. For example, iron ore could not be used directly, but people learned to extract iron from it, and then people use natural resources like iron ore and for making building bridges, roads, machinery, and vehicles. That is why these are known as human-made resources. And technology is a human-made resource. And if you see the third and most important resource is human resource actually refers to the number, quantity, and abilities, either mental or physical, of the people. And there are different views regarding treatment of humans as a resource, but we cannot deny the fact that it is the abilities of humans, it is the abilities of our scientists that help in transferring the physical material into a valuable resource. Because people only can make the best use of nature to create more resources when they have, they are knowledgeable, they are skilled, and they have all the required technology to do so. And that is why these human beings are resource. And education and help in making people a valuable resource and improving the quality of people's skill so that they are able to create more resources. And this process is known as human resource development. And government India has actually formed a specialized ministry for the resource development, HRD ministry. In this figure, you can see that this lady scientist found some way for the drought management and for the drought resistant seeds. And we need to focus on conserving resources and carefully and giving them time to get renewed is known as resource conservation. And this concept is very important. Sustainable development. It means that carefully utilizing resources in the present so that besides meeting the requirement of the present, it also take care of future generations. So we need to also think of future generations. This is known as sustainable. It means all the resource should be sustained. And in the definition, that while we need to use resources and also conserve them for the future is known as sustainable development. And recently, the Millennium Development Goals has also been replaced by the Sustainable Development Goals, and they will be implemented from this year only, from 2016 up to 2030. And if you see, there are many ways of conserving resources, and each one should contribute by reducing consumption, recycle, and reusing. Actually, this is a 3-year process. We reduce, recycle, and reuse. And these are some of the principles of sustainable development. Like we need to respect and care for all forms of life, improve the quality of human life, conserve the Earth's vitality and diversity, minimize the depletion of natural resources, change personal attitude and practices towards the environment, and enable communities to care for their own environment. And our duty towards our environment should be that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable and the diversity of life on the earth is conserved and damage to natural environment resources is minimized. Now see the exercises. Why are resources distributed unequally over the earth? Because these are depend on a number of physical factors, terrain, climate, relief, and various other factors, and these factors differ from place to place. That is why resources are also distributed unequally. Resource conservation means the practice to using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. This is it in here. This is known as resource conservation. Then human resource is important because it is only human by their knowledge, by their skill, by their technology. They develop various type of resources. That is why like buildings, bridges, and all those things are created by humans only. And that is why human resources is very important. Sustainable development means economic development, the strategy that development should take place in present, but keeping in mind the future generation, keeping in mind the resources should be available for future generations also. So this is known as sustainable development. An objective question: which one of the following does not make substance a resource? That is quantity, because in the beginning of the chapter we have saw that utility and value they make substance a resource. Which one of the following is a human-made resource? It is medicines to treat water, that is A, and biotic resources are derived from living beings, living things. Potential means they know the stock and they could be used in the future but are not used in the present. Actual resources means their stock and their quantity is being known and are being used presently. Ubiquitous means present everywhere like air. Localized means present in some places like gold in South Africa and all other metals like copper, Chile and Peru. So these are localized resources. So thank you guys. And in coming days we are going to cover NCERT from class 6 to class 12. And we have made a lot of videos for GAK, GS, UPPCS, MPPCS, ARIAs. And we have also started a pen drive course to cover all the things, daily coaching notes, and daily email updates for current affairs magazines, the Hindu summary, Yojana summary, and test series for prelims and mains. And if you want all this material at a place, you can buy your course. And for more information, you can see our Facebook page and our website. And please like, share, and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you, guys.